that was fun. Good evening, and thank you guys all for coming. My name is Jeremy Gobiel. I am the principal of this wonderful school. I'm very excited about our new batch of kindergartners coming in September. You guys all are here because you at least started the registration process. Is that correct? Okay. I'm going to skip through some of the slides about registration because you've all either met or interacted with Katie Goodine, who is the district registrar. It's really important that you finish all the paperwork and get all the paperwork and documentation in. We really want to screen the children coming in, and we will not screen anybody that doesn't have the registration completely done. So if you ever have any questions about that, you can always get in touch with the school or contact Katie directly. She will also be probably hounding you a little bit if you haven't turned everything in. Some of you may have already experienced that. We didn't give out notes other than just a couple little things because we wanted people to focus on the presentation. This is being recorded. You can always go back and look at it. Nick's going to put it on the website either tonight or tomorrow, maybe the next day, put some pressure on it. If you ever have any questions about something that you feel like maybe you missed, you can always just call the school and just ask. Whether it's a nursing-related question, food-related question, anything related to the curriculum, whatever. You can always call the school. So we're going to go through some slides here. We have a short video as well to introduce you to MECC. So our goals for tonight, we want to introduce some important people of our school and our community. We're going to share with you kind of what a typical kindergarten day looks like. We're going to educate you about our programs and instructional materials. We'll talk a little bit about arrival and dismissal process. We're going to inform you about some of the upcoming events that we have coming up and answer any questions that you may have. So, that's me up there on the left. This is Mrs. Deutschman. She's our special ed coordinator for both our pre-K and our K. There's Mrs. Drugan. There's Mrs. Drugan. She's going to talk in a little bit. And Mrs. Dacia Graves is our school adjustment counselor. Mrs. Drugan is our school psychologist. They share some similar roles here in the school, but Mrs. Drugan does all of our evaluation testing. So we'll show you this video.
Hello, and welcome to the Memorial Early Childhood Center. My name is Jeremy Gobiel, and I will be your child's principal. The staff here at MECC are looking forward to working with you and your child as they start their educational journey in Middleborough. Welcome to the MECC. This video will give you some idea of what to expect in our school, and hopefully answer some questions you have. We want you to have some understanding of what kindergarten looks like and what you can do before they start school with us to prepare them for success. We will have an orientation the day before the first day of kindergarten, where you will be able to meet your student's teacher and see their classroom. It is also important that you have your student fully registered as soon as possible and that they participate in a screening so that we have an idea of where to place them, and we can have them meet with one of our kindergarten teachers at this time. The screenings will be scheduled for the week of June 5th through June 9th. The MECC school day starts promptly at 8:30 a.m. If you choose to drop your child off each morning, you'll enter the school's second driveway and drive around the back, staying on the right side near the playground. Vehicles will be directed forward by staff members, and your child will exit the passenger side door onto the sidewalk for safety. It is helpful to have your student exit the right side of the vehicle and directly onto the sidewalk. Once your child exits the vehicle, you will pull forward to turn around in a designated area. Students will be greeted by staff members to ensure a safe arrival, and we have staff visible in the hallways during arrival time. Buses arrive between 8:35 and 8:50 a.m. Each morning, buses enter the front of the building. When students exit the bus, they are greeted by MECC staff members who direct them into the building and either go to the cafeteria for breakfast or straight to their classrooms to get ready for their school day. Once in the building, students begin their morning routine of taking off their coats, hanging them up, and unpacking their backpacks. Oftentimes, students are asked to take out their morning snack and pass in their folder. Teachers go through the folders to check for any notes from home. Classroom teachers spend the first 6 to 8 weeks teaching students all of the routines in their day. This is essential to building your child's independence and confidence as they learn the expectations for their classroom and our school. Our goal in all areas of school is to develop their skills as independent learners. Kindergarten classrooms are carefully structured to meet the needs of all learners. Teachers explain a skill or concept through the gradual release model of instruction. This is the I do, we do, you do model, where the teacher engages students' background knowledge, instructs them on the new content. The teacher models the content, then works with the students to practice and eventually apply the skills independently. In addition to students working alongside their teacher, they explore materials on their own and with classmates as they develop their independence. Typical daily instruction includes whole group, small group, and independent activities. Establishing rituals and routines in our classrooms provides children with the knowledge of what comes next. This helps to make them become independent and engaged learners. In addition to a short snack time in the classroom, kindergarten students also eat lunch each day. They sit at their tables with their classmates along the 30-minute lunchtime. Students have the option of purchasing lunch and milk at school or bringing a packed lunch from home. In addition, students have a 25-minute recess each day. MECC staff supervises students while they're eating lunch and playing at recess. Each day, your kindergartner will engage in a special subject class such as art, physical education, music, computers, or library. These experiences provide students with the opportunity to explore our Unified Arts program. Starting kindergarten is an exciting time for everyone, and it happens during a time of critical social and emotional growth. Our children are entering a new environment with new expectations, rules, routines. They're meeting new teachers and new classmates. Our teachers work to make sure that our children feel safe and welcomed. Dismissal is one of the most important routines of the day, as we want to ensure every child makes it home safely. Our dismissal process is very orderly. Each student is given a bus tag prior to the first day of school. This bus tag needs to be secured to the child's backpack and remain there all year. While we dismiss students to the proper location, teachers are checking bus tags to ensure students get to the correct bus or to parent pickup. Students are walked out to our transfer buses where they head to the Mary K. Good or Birkeland schools. At the complex, they will get off the transfer buses and get on the bus that will take them home. This sounds like a complicated process, but I want to assure you that students are supervised by staff at all times and they learn this routine quickly. Students being picked up are dismissed to the designated adult identified on the parent pickup form. Parent pickup students are released at the back of the building near the tennis courts. To ensure the safety of every child being picked up, it is required that your name is listed on the school registration or parent pickup form and that you have a photo ID. We will not release your child to you unless you have proper identification. If a parent or guardian is running late, please call the school and your child will be held in the main office until you arrive. We are very excited to have your child experience all the wonderful learning and growing that takes place here at MECC. We look forward to getting to know you and your child for the upcoming school year. We welcome you to our great school community where students' safety, relationships, learning, and growth are our priorities.
All right. So I talked about Mrs. Goodine, Ms. Katie. She's our registrar. So I'm going to sort of skip over this. If you do have specific questions about registration, you can certainly ask me, but she's our expert. She's going to make sure everything gets taken care of so that your kid's ready to go for school in August. I'm going to turn it over here to Mrs. Laura Johnson, who's our school nurse. Mrs. Johnson's a wonderful person to have here at the school, somebody that we hope that maybe your child doesn't have to see very often, but she certainly will take care of them and take care of you as well.
Hi, everyone. Thank you all for coming. This is the part I don't like, talking in front of people, but here I am. I'm going to go over the nitty-gritty for the health stuff, and it's gonna, yeah. The state mandated requirements for kindergarten. I do need their 5-year physical, or the physical that's within a year of starting. So I know a lot of you have already given the physicals, and I have a lot of them, and I've gone through them. And I'll meet with all of you in June during screening, and I'll let you know if something's missing or not. If you gave me a physical that's like from February or March of 2022, I'll need the next one. So if you have it, you can bring it to screening, or you can drop it off anytime, because we're here. Their immunizations must be up to date. So they're usually given, most all of them are up to date at age 4, so they're usually all set at age 5. But if they're not, and your physical isn't due until September or October, because you've fallen behind like we all do with our kids, you need to have a nurse visit to have those immunizations done, so that they'll be all set, and then when they go in September, October, you can just get me that. They do need a once-in-a-lifetime lead level, and they don't need to have a new one, and if you could possibly check the physical that it's actually on there, that would be great, because a lot of times the doctors don't put it on there. They do have to have a vision exam, 5-year vision, and that's usually done at the pediatrician's office, and they do a stereopsis test, which is a depth perception test, and you could possibly make sure that's on there too, because that's stuff I do all through the summer, and I'm checking it, and I'm emailing, and you will get an email that something is missing if it's not there. So just so you know, first day of school, they can't start if they're not up to date with immunizations and have a physical. If your child obviously has any medical concerns, allergies, asthma, seizures, diabetes, anything like that, we'll talk about that during screening, and I will give you a care plan, and I ask that you will have a picture of your child on that care plan, because I give a copy of that to the teacher, to the cafeteria if it's an allergy, and also to all the specialists, so everybody's aware of your child's condition so that we can keep them safe here. I will need a doctor's order for any medication, even over the counter, and that has to be dated after June 30th, because anything dated before June 30th is this school year. So for all you people that are on top of things and they send me, and it's happened, I'll get something in May, and I'll have to get another doctor's order. So I'll need a doctor's order for anything, and I need you to fill out an authorization for medication. That gives me permission to give your child medication if need be. All this stuff can be faxed to me over the summer. All my information is on the website and everything. It can be scanned and emailed to me if you have a physical or immunizations. And that's pretty much what a lot of people are doing now. They I don't know how to do it, but they scan it or download it and they email it to me, and I just print it, and then they're all set for kindergarten. If your child does have a medical condition, with the HIPAA rules, I can't let the bus driver know. So it's important that you let the bus driver know, or you could, give me permission, and I can give a copy of the care plan to the bus driver. I just wanted to mention too, with the physical, a lot of times people send me progress notes or visit summaries, and this is not the physical. The physical is usually 1 or 2 pages long, so sometimes I get emails with 15 pages, and that's not the physical, it's a progress note, and a lot of it has to do for the parents, just to, know things about your child's age and stuff. You can go to the next one, I guess. Oh, yes. All medication needs to be brought in by an adult. You can't send it in the backpack with the child, which parents do a lot. And it doesn't have to necessarily be you. It can be a grandparent or aunt or anybody, but all medication needs to be brought in by an adult and not sent in with the child, and this includes over-the-counter medication. We discourage any cough drops, for choking purposes with these little ones because they're very active. I also can't take a picture of a physical, like that JPEG stuff, you know? It has to be like scanned. Okay. All right, so the protocol for illness, as it says up there, they do have to be home for 24 hours, fever-free, without any medication. And they have to be home 24 hours after their last episode of vomiting or diarrhea. And if you do send them and they vomited the night before, they will come in and they will tell the teacher. Every single time. I threw up in my bed last night. Oh, really? So then I have to call the parent, and frequently it's they have the day wrong. Maybe it wasn't last night, maybe it was last week or something, but yeah, we do ask that you keep them home for 24 hours so that we don't spread it around to our friends, because they're all very close and they all love each other. If they're diagnosed with a contagious illness such as conjunctivitis, pneumonia, impetigo, they have to be on the antibiotic for 24 hours, full 24 hours. Sometimes the doctor will say, oh, just give them 2 doses, they'll be fine. That's not our protocol, 24 hours. And make sure they're feeling well enough to be here. You know, they're only little, and you know, if your child normally eats good breakfast every single day and they don't want to eat breakfast, well, that's kind of a clue, because they'll come in and they'll eat something and they'll vomit. You know, so you know your child best. Coughing and sneezing, we all know all that with COVID. Teach them that through the summer. We do have a health and wellness policy in which we don't share any food. We are a peanut-aware school. We are not a peanut-free school. So if your child does have allergies to nuts or anything, we'll go over that when I see you in June, and let you know the procedures, how we keep your child safe here. If your child is absent, we do have a Safe to School number that we ask that you call. I listen to that in the morning. It's just a recording. You can call that at 2 a.m. If you're going on a long weekend, just anything. They don't have to be sick. Just please let us know that they're safe at home with you. And if you do, a lot of times parents will send emails to the teachers that they're not going to be in. I don't usually get those emails because the teachers are really busy in the morning, so they're not, you know, thinking, oh, I have to forward this to the nurse. So you will get a phone call that will say your child has an unexcused absence. So I do ask that you call the Safe to School number. And also, if your child has an injury at home, if they have a fracture or some sort of injury or stitches or anything, you know, it would be nice to get an email, and not just to the teacher, but include me, because I have had kids just this year with stitches. I'm like, oh, what happened? Are there any restrictions? It's on your head, you know? And, you know, it's, or, you know, fractures. I need doctors, not an order, but documentation for any restrictions, because obviously if they have a fractured something, there is restrictions on recess or gym, and for how long, and then I need a clearance letter after. There's a lot of stuff, I'm sorry. We do encourage healthy snacks. I told you we don't share. And I do have a website that's under the MECC. It's under Student and Families, and it says Nurse's Office. If you have any, you know, questions, it should be on that, but you can call me at any time. And I do welcome donations of stretch pants, because kids do have, we do encourage you to send in extra clothes. Your teachers will tell you all that, because if they never have an accident at home, they will have one here. And they like to have their own clothes. I do have some spares, but when I let kids borrow them, I don't frequently get them back. So I do take donations, and make sure that your registration form is up to date with all the people that you will allow your child to be dismissed to, because I will not let your child leave without anyone, with someone that's not on the registration form. Sorry, that wasn't fun. All right, well, we'll see you all in June. If you have any questions, I'll be here. Yes?
Just a really quick question. When my oldest was in kindergarten, we used to get letters home when there was like a contagious disease or like strep or pneumonia, or do you guys also send letters home? Like,
We do not do that.
okay, I didn't know.
No, because it's just things change so quickly, and parents will do the Middleborough, help in Middleborough, and this is going around, and this is going around, and then they'll call me. I'm like, well, I think I might have 3 students that I know of that have it, and I've got 320 students, so I don't think it's going around. But you can always call me. But yeah, we don't send that anymore.
But it's kindergarten, there's always something going on.
Always.
That's why we encourage the hand washing and just
Fingers out of your mouth and nose. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Johnson. We would have gone through a whole lot of paper in the last few years if we were doing that with our close contacts. It's crazy. I'm going to talk quickly about, she's not here tonight, but this is Mrs. Megan Quirk. She is the coordinator of our Family Resource Center. She's a great resource for families. She can help people get connected with food services or clothing or counseling. So Meg's great. You can find her information on our website as well. We have some transition events for K coming up. We mentioned we have our screenings on June 5th through June 9th. We have our kindergarten placement letter, so we'll send a letter home. It'll be actually through email in August as to who your child's teacher will be for the year. We have a kindergarten social at Camp MECC. That's going to be Tuesday, August 1st. It's a really great event. I had never been to Camp MECC until last year. We had one of our buses come, and kids could get on the bus, and families could get on the bus. There's lots of fun events, fun activities at Camp MECC. Then we have our orientation. Our actual kindergarten orientation is the first day of school for everybody else in the district. Kindergarten starts our first day the day after that, which is August 31st. But on the 30th, you'll have an opportunity to come in with your child, meet your teacher, see the classroom, see the building, get some more information. Did you guys see the bus tag thing? So you'll get your bus tag on that day. That's what we do, right? So you'll get the bus tag that day. That's a really important thing for us because truly, like the first month of school, the teachers are walking around behind the kids like with their backpacks, like, okay, you're getting on bus 7. Okay, you're getting on bus 8. But it's really important for us to know how kids are getting dismissed. So the kindergarten screening process, again, it will be June 5th through the 9th. You will receive a link to sign up through Sign Up Genius. That's once your registration is completed. Yeah. It's out. So when you...
It's in May. I know that it's within a couple weeks because I just started on the calendar.
Right. Okay, so sometime in May, if you've completed your registration, you'll get an email with a link to Sign Up Genius. We used to tell people when their screening times were, but I just, as a parent, I'm like, that's not really fun. So Sign Up Genius, I don't know if anybody's used it, but it's great because you have options. So there'll be that entire week, and then if you don't register correctly or completely before then, we will try to get your child in for a screening as soon as you do finish the registration process. What we'll have parents do, families do, is park in the parking lot and enter the front door of the gymnasium, which is the building right next door. We're going to be doing the screenings in the gym on the floor. I don't know if anybody's been in the gym. It's a beautiful facility. So we'll do our screenings in there. Your child will meet one of our teachers. Won't necessarily be the teacher that your child is going to have. We have a rotating schedule for that week for our teachers, so that's not out of the classrooms all week. They'll be asked to complete some tasks. Families will fill out a questionnaire because we want to get some information related to the student. In particular, one of the most important things is about childcare, pre-K. It's just important for us to know. That really helps our information. We have some kids that don't have any experience in school, and that's fine. But it just helps us with the process of placing kids. And students that are currently enrolled in our MECC pre-K don't need to go have a kindergarten screening. So as part of our kindergarten team, we have 11 kindergarten classrooms. We have a paraprofessional in each classroom with the teacher. So for the majority of the day, there are 2 adults in every classroom. Sometimes we have a special ed teacher in some of our classrooms, and so there's sometimes 3 adults in the classroom, which is fantastic. We also have 3 special education teachers. We have speech, occupational therapy, physical therapy, APE services, and we also have Title I reading support. And these are our classroom kindergarten teachers. Woo! So these are our special education teachers, our instructional coach, and our reading specialist. And I'm going to hand it over to some of our teachers. Yes, I will introduce them. Thank you. This is Mrs. Lawson. She's a classroom teacher. Mrs. Santos is our instructional coach. We're very fortunate to have an instructional coach, so she goes in and works with teachers on all aspects of instruction. She also does a lot of early bird administration. This is Mrs. Drugan. She's our school psychologist. Mrs. Bradley is one of our classroom teachers. You already met Mrs. Johnson. Mrs. Lord is one of our classroom teachers. And Ms. Paling. I'm going to hand it over to Ms. Paling.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. My name is Carly Paling. If I have met you, nice to see you again. If I haven't, nice to meet you. I'm looking at a kindergartner who used to be in my room, who's now getting ready to enter high school pretty soon, I think, right? Which is kind of wild. 2 things before Mrs. Lord and I kind of get started on our part of the presentation that I have to say now, otherwise I'll forget. But when Mr. Gobiel was talking about the kindergarten transitional events that are coming up, we just received confirmation that another kindergarten teacher and myself are going to be part of the Summer Splash program this year. We're going to put on a few week-long courses called Kickoff to K. If you have registered your child, you will get an email with information, but it's an opportunity to sign your child up. It's just going to be 4-day sessions, so there'll be different weeks throughout the summer where you can, if you choose to, sign your child up. It'll just be a morning session, but they'll have 4 days. It'll be housed here, so they'll work with some of the kindergarten teachers. They will just get some exposure to what we do in kindergarten. You know, sitting on the rug, a morning meeting, listening to a story, eating a snack. Our goal is to just kind of expose them into some activities that they'll be doing come September. So definitely take advantage of that if you're able to. That info will be coming out. And then just one more thing, touching on the screenings. It is super important, like Jeremy said, to bring your child in for a screening. It is so helpful to us to get a little glimpse of your child, into their personality, you know, what they have under control as far as academics or don't. It's so helpful in us creating classrooms that are balanced and really giving your kiddo exactly what they need. It's not something that you need to coach them for. We've had kids sit down and, you know, I say, hi, I'm Miss Paling, and they're like, 2 + 2 is 4. I'm like, that's great. But it's super important that you bring them in for a screening. So, welcome again. We're so excited that you're here and that you're getting ready to enter the world of kindergarten, whether you're a first-time kindergarten parent or returning. We're excited to welcome you and your child to the MECC this fall. MECC really is a super special place. It's a building filled with kids ages 3 through 6. It doesn't really get much more fun than that, so we're really excited that you're here and looking forward to creating just a memorable, wonderful kindergarten experience for you and your children. So thank you for taking this first step and coming tonight.
Hello, I'm Tracy Lloyd. I apologize, my allergies have kind of taken over, so my voice is kind of going. But speaking a little bit more about our arrival procedures, you did see on the video there is drop-off in the back of the school, and then the buses arrive at the front. Arrival at our school is an all-hands-on-deck. There are teachers in the front of the school, the back of the school, but all classroom teachers also greet the kids daily at the classroom door. So you never have to worry about them being able to find their room, find their way around school. Everybody is out and seeing the kids, and they get used to those routines so quick. We're so impressed, usually by the end of that first week. They know where they're going, they're high-fiving friends, they even know whose classroom their friends are in. So they just get through that so quickly. Go ahead. No. Yeah. So then a little bit more about our dismissal routines. So you will be filling out a form prior to the first day of school. We do have those at our orientation day as well. And we are just asking, if at all possible, you can have a consistent routine for your child. Like if they are going to daycare a couple of days a week, being picked up or riding the bus, that it's consistent, because it's really difficult for them to remember, okay, every other Tuesday I'm going here, and then Monday, and it's confusing for the teachers, and just for their safety, for us to be able to get them to the right spot at the end of the day. We understand that, you know, child care issues may change, and you may need a babysitter on some days, but that form that you will be filling out will let us know what their dismissal routine is for the week. Let's see. Yes, and the other important thing is for you to just go over that with them. We're going to be checking the bus tags that Jeremy spoke of, that you saw in the video. We will be giving you those tags at orientation, but that information will reflect where they're going. Like if it might say bus 11, Monday through Thursday, pick up on Fridays. It will say that on their bus tag, but it's important for the kids to know their bus number and get used to that. Even though they have that tag, sometimes they've gotten lost or fallen off. But to go over that routine with them, remember today's the day that you're going to daycare, just going over that routine with them. And then the other important thing is, and we will go over this at orientation also, is that everybody who ever may pick up your child, make sure their information is on their registration form, including your immediate family members, because we've had like a dad or a mom that comes to pick them up, and dad filled out the form and forgot to put mom's name, just assumed, okay, well, she's the mom. We cannot dismiss the child to any adult that's not listed on the registration form. And if you are going to be picking up your child every day, or somebody else that's on that registration form is picking them up, they have to have an ID. Because even though we have some of the same teachers that are there at dismissal, they might get used to your face after a while. They might be absent one day, and there might be somebody else at dismissal, and they're going to ask for your ID. So just for the safety and security of your child, just make sure you always have an ID with you. So this is the information for our bus company. This is also available on the Middleborough Public Schools website. But throughout the year, if you have any questions or concerns with the transportation, the routes, as it says there, will be available in August. So you'll be able to go on the Middleborough Public Schools website, go to transportation, and find your street and what route, and it actually lists the time that they will be picked up. Don't get nervous at the beginning of the school year thinking you might have missed the bus, especially those first couple of weeks. They might be really late dropping off the kids, or late picking them up because kids are maybe hesitant to get on the bus and things like that once they get into that routine and the routes. And they usually will let, like you'll see on like the MECC page on Facebook and things like that, buses are running late, just so you're aware.
This is the fun slide. So I'm just going to take you, you saw in the video, but just through like a typical day in K. Kindergarten has changed a lot over the years, even since, you know, I've been in kindergarten, since I've been teaching kindergarten, I'm sure since you've been in kindergarten as well. It's really not what K used to look like. There's not a nap time. We are going from the moment your kiddo enters the building until moment that they leave. To piggyback on Mrs. Lord, they'll come home very tired, the first few weeks especially. It is a full day. I'm happy to report, however, that as the academic demands increase on these kiddos and their day gets fuller, the kiddos are rising right along with the expectations. It's pretty amazing to see the substantial growth that occurs in kindergarten. Many kiddos come in with little to no foundational skills at all. They're unable to do things like take off their backpack or walk in a line or use scissors, and they leave reading and writing and mathematicians and wondering scientists, and it's really, really neat to see. I can also speak confidently on behalf of all the kindergarten teachers here. They're the best educators I've ever met, and they really work tirelessly to ensure that we're meeting kids where they're at, we're making learning so fun, so hands-on and engaging, and also paying really close attention to their social emotional needs. We do that tirelessly throughout the day, and I truly work with the most amazing group of educators. So no matter where your kiddo ends up in the fall, they're going to be in wonderful hands. You're very lucky. So they'll come in the morning. The arrival, there's typically some sort of wake-up work or arrival, morning activity for your kiddos to get started in right away. Every classroom does some sort of a morning meeting. They'll do a calendar or a morning message or circle time, just kind of getting the day jump started. We follow a workshop model of instruction for reading, for writing, for math. So your kiddos will work with the teacher during whole group things. They'll split off into small groups to work at center and hands-on activities. They'll work independently at times. Sometimes they'll work in a small group or one-on-one with the teacher. And we follow that model through many parts of the day. They'll always have a read aloud. They'll listen to a story every day. We have a recess and a lunchtime daily. You saw that in the video. Math, we also follow a workshop model. We do have a math program in Visions that we may be sticking with next year, maybe not, but it's a supplemental program, so we tie that in with the workshop model as well. We have science activities, social studies, thematic-based units of study. We have lots of social emotional learning happening, social competency programs. We tie these into read-alouds and activities. We use the zones of regulation. Your child will become very familiar with that. Calmer Choice is another program that we've been diving into this year. Every single day your kiddo will attend a specialist: art, music, phys ed, library, computer lab. Okay, well, lunch, always a favorite part of the day. Actually, to speak on lunch, something that is helpful, along with your child practicing their dismissal routines, another thing that you could be practicing with them this summer is what they're doing for lunch, whether they're going to get a lunch from school or bringing a lunch from home. That is so helpful to us to know if they know what they're doing. Typically, every morning we have to put in the lunch count, how many lunches are coming from the CAF, so that is a question that we'll ask them every single morning. What are you doing for lunch today? And it's so helpful if they already know, so we don't have to dig through 23 backpacks to see if there is a lunch inside. We also have a short snack time each day, and it is also helpful if you can pack your child's snack separately from their lunch if they're packing a lunch. I say that because, especially at the beginning of the year, many kiddos may not know what is their snack and what is their lunch, so then they'll eat their lunch during snack time and then get to the CAF and there's tears because their sandwich is gone and everything else. Just a helpful hint, but if they could know what they're doing for lunch, that would be super helpful. There's our Unified Arts. They'll go there for 45 minutes every single day. Typically the ESP, the paraprofessional in the classroom, travels to specialists with them, so they'll have their Unified Arts teacher, one of these lovely ladies. Ms. W, Mrs. Iveson, and Ms. Florio are our Unified Arts teachers, but they'll be with them and also with their classroom ESP as well. Kind of along the lines of Unified Arts, we're super fortunate where we are located at the MECC that in addition to all the fun, engaging learning that happens here in the classroom, in the unified arts. We participate in many walking field trips around the community. We're kind of right in the heart of Middleborough here, so we've gone to, not anymore, but we used to go to the police station, we'll walk to the fire station, many classes walk to the public library once a month. We've gone to the post office, we've gone to the town hall, so we are so lucky to be able to take advantage of that. So your child will bring home permission slips and things like that at the beginning of the year for you to sign so they can participate in activities like that. We walk to Pierce Playground, just kind of something different. Fire station, yes, the fire station, we'll come to the fire station. Yeah, yeah, again, we're super excited to have you here. I hope that you'll see that the growth that your kiddo is going to display and the journey that they're about to embark on with you is just, it's pretty magical, the growth that happens in K, and we're so excited to welcome you this fall.
Hello again. So as Ms. Paling said, we are here to meet all the students where they are at. Some of them, as we know, have never been in the school setting. The first few weeks of school are very long for them, and we are here to support them and support you in any ways that we can. We are very fortunate to have wonderful school psychologists here and our school adjustment counselor, and they come to all classrooms monthly and work on different social emotional lessons. We talk about the zones of regulation and how they are feeling, whether they're in the blue zone or the red zone, the green zone, the yellow zone. They learn to just recognize their own feelings, recognize their friends' feelings, and we give them different strategies that they can use when they're feeling upset, like taking a deep breath or counting to 5 and things like that. Just skills that they will be able to use and carry with them through life, not just in kindergarten. Oh, thank you. Yep. So everybody received, or should have received, a purple paper tonight. This we just wanted to give you to help you from now and throughout the summer. So one side has just different apps and online resources. We know that all kids at this point are using some type of tablet, computer, device. There's a lot of different helpful educational websites on here for them. And then on the back side, there's just some things for self-help, social skills, and academic skills that would be really, really helpful if they're able to do for when they start kindergarten in the fall. So things that we've mentioned already tonight, just being able to put on their coat, take off their coat. We have over 20 students on average in each classroom, and especially as those winter months start approaching, it takes a lot of time getting them ready to go out for recess, ready for the end of the day as we're putting on coats, zipping coats, and things like that. So just something to practice at home. As Mrs. Johnson has said, just teaching them how to properly wash their hands, not just squirt soap, rinse it off, but actually scrubbing and making those bubbles and sneezing and coughing into their elbows. Social skills are huge and important. They're going to be sharing and doing games and taking turns with lots of other friends in the class. So playing board games, having them wait their turn for something, or waiting to be able to have a snack or choose a movie or anything like that where they have to have that waiting time and being able to play cooperatively with others, cleaning up after themselves. And then the academic skills, just we would love for them to have read a book, just being able to sit there and listen to a story. We will help them with all the things that they need if they need help cutting, but if they practice just cutting in straight lines on a paper, anything like that, holding a pencil, drawing, you can count with them while they're walking around, while you're driving in the car, and just being able to recognize and try to write their first name. All those things would be super helpful before they start in the fall, and we appreciate that. Do you have a question? Yes, what's your question?
just slipped my mind. I apologize, I don't know. Again, yeah, our main goal here is that they're gonna become independent, lifelong learners. This is just the start to their journey. They're gonna be in school the next 13 years, whether they like it or not. So our main goal here is to just make sure they love coming to school and enjoy, learning. And we're so excited to start with them this fall and welcome you to the MECC community.
Thank you, ladies. Next up will be Heather Edson, who's the president of our PTA. She really wanted to say a few brief words. I got a few people over here that are like, wait a second. Mrs. Hill, Mrs. Lord stole Mrs. Drury's thunder. She was supposed to come up and speak, and she's grateful about that. Heather Edson.
Hello. As Jeremy said, I am the president of the MECC PTA, and we are a great group of parents who come together to support the Massachusetts PTA initiative of Every Child, One Voice. There are some serious parts to that, but mostly we really want to encourage these kids to have fun and have the parents be involved in the enrichments. We've had an amazing fundraiser so far this year. It's been a lot of fun. I got to pie their principal. They've raised a ton of money on behalf of their classrooms, their parents, their families have pitched in. It's been a lot of fun. We have elections in September for the board positions. Every board position is available to run for. If there's no one running against you, you get that position. If there is a vote. And then come October, the new board will lead the way and lead the pack. So we're really excited to have more people come into the school. It's a very special school, as you've heard. It's magical. When I told some people when I was waiting to be brought in that there was a lot of people saying that's so magical, and I was like, oh, that's nice. They like their school where they teach or where their kids go, and it's absolutely true. Cannot say enough great things. If you have any questions for the MECC PTA or about MECC, please reach out to meccpta@outlook.com or look for the PTA pages on Facebook. There's two. There's Parents of MECC and then MECC PTA. That's our main page. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We have our secretary and one of our very, very, very amazing volunteers and members, treasurer over there, and Lauren is our secretary. So any questions, we'll be outside, and send us a message. Thank you.
She's absolutely right. Our PTA matches the magicalness of our school. They've been amazing, and we really appreciate everything that you guys do. Everything that they do goes back to the kids, goes back to the school. So they purchase t-shirts, and you saw in the video, we were dancing in the gym. We had a dance-a-thon. That was actually a fundraiser, which allowed us to buy more stuff and pay for some really great enrichment activities. So if you haven't seen the picture board out there, please take a look. There's some great stuff that's been going on. A lot sponsored by our PTA, so thank you, ladies. I meant the ladies here. And the guys that you bring with you. Yes, that's so true. All right, so upcoming, the school calendar is already posted for next year on the Middleborough District website. Again, placement will come in mid-August. The dismissal form, we really need to have it returned before the first day of school. Our admin assistants are completely straight out on that first day of school because we absolutely need to know how each kid is getting dismissed each day of the week. We really frown upon changes in dismissal. These are our youngest learners, and they're confused and they don't necessarily know where they're going and how they're getting there. But we've had requests for, he's going on bus 7 on Monday, parent pickup on Tuesday, bus 13 on Wednesday, 14 on whatever. It's impossible for us to monitor. It's just not realistic. So we do understand that kids will go to Shepherd's Path on certain days. So if we can limit the amount of changes to dismissal, including he's supposed to be getting on bus number 7 on Tuesday, and it's Tuesday, and you call the office at 2:45 and say, oh, he's going to be parent pickup. It just causes a whole host of issues. So, as I said, our first day of school, our admin assistants that's all they do the entire day, is they document, okay, this kid's going on this bus, this kid's going here, this kid's going here, and our teachers work really hard on that as well. So just try to work with us and try to keep it as simple for us as possible. The bus routes will be posted online on the district website. We have our kindergarten orientation, and the first day of school will be August 31st. We also have a program called Champions, which is before and after school care. They weren't able to come tonight, but it's a really, really great program. It's very academic rich. They do a great job. It's held here, so it's in our cafeteria. So if you have childcare issues, you can work with them. That information is also on our district website about Champions. You can contact them. Thank you, Mrs. Lord. So here are our contact information. Last question. Are we ready for kindergarten? Anybody have any questions?
Is the dismissal form an online form or is it a paper form?
That's a great question. I think last year we emailed it during the summer and asked you to... No, we asked them for the hard copy, excuse me, to fill it out and bring it to the orientation, which is August 30th. Give it to the... Yeah, we'll have hard copies. But that's sort of our plan is we try to collect them during the summer. If you can print it and bring it in and mail it in or whatever, that's great. We kind of take care of some of that before the first day of school, but bring it to orientation, and then the teachers will get it to the office and we'll get it all squared away there. Any other questions? I saw a hand going up. If I got a question.
Is there an elevator or some source of if somebody did get injured for some reason because they're kids?
Yes, we do have an elevator in the building. Yep. It's right outside here to the left. Yep.
What's the average class size?
About 20. It's about 20. It's so interesting to me. This is my third year here, and I share this with our teachers that I just was starting the placement process for our kindergartners, current kindergartners going to first grade. And kindergarten's weird because I have no idea how many kids we're going to have. Like, I know that I have a certain amount of kids that are going to HBB next year and a certain amount of kids that are going to MKG, but I have no idea how many kids are going to be registered for kindergarten. And our class numbers are around 20 right now. Yep.
For kids who are going to pre-K at the MECC downstairs, how come they don't have screening like everybody else? So they are meeting with the pre-K teachers?
We'll screen them during the school day when they're here. Good question. No, that's all right. Yep.
Is the screening during the day or is it after school?
It's during the day. We start appointments at like 9:30 and the last one's at like 2:30. And they're about 25 minutes each. Yeah.
For the first day of school, if your child is normally going to ride the bus, would you suggest that they ride the bus or bring them in for like the first day?
Yeah, they should ride the bus. We want to get them into their normal routines. One of the things we've done the last couple of years is the first day of school, we brought all the kids as they arrive into the gym so that the teachers can kind of collect them all. And then after 2 or 3 days, they come into the building right away. So I think we decided that they're going to come in right away the first day, just because we don't want to confuse them. They'll come in, there's plenty of staff in the hallways, they'll have their bus tags that has their teacher name on it. We'll get them to where they need to be. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, we totally agree. Definitely send them on their regular routine. We know, especially for first-time parents, like there's usually tears, and you know it's not atypical for kiddos to be like grabbing onto their mom or dad or who's ever dropping them off. We encourage you wear sunglasses, put them on the bus. It may be painful, but it makes it so much easier for them to transition when they do arrive here. They get off the bus with all their friends. We're ready to welcome them into the room, and then we're off to a running start for those kittens. So they will be busy and forget about it before they know it. So.
And there's been many times that we get little notes or emails that, the child left home and so upset, and by the time they get to us, they're smiling, they've talked to their friends, seen familiar faces, they might not know friends that first day, but if they do come to us in tears, we're very warm and welcoming and we give hugs.
I try sometimes to.
If they're going to be consistently parent drop-off. That's behind the building where the playground is back here. And it's the same thing. We have kids that, we kind of have to, come on, let's go, you come home and separate from dad and mom, and the parents are like, oh my God, my child. And by the time they're in the building, they're like, yeah, I don't know, those people were. Thanks for the ride. You have a question?
The radius for the bus is 1 mile from the school?
Yes. Yeah.
Is there an app or something that the parents use to like teachers take pictures or talk about like how the students roll that day or anything like that?
The question is there an app that teachers communicate with families around? Each of our teachers kind of has their own that they'll figure out with you, whether it's Remind or Class Dojo or any one of the other ones. We do have a weekly newsletter that I send out, and that usually includes what happened during the week and pictures and stuff that's coming up. But yeah, teachers will definitely, our kindergarten teachers understand your angst, and they're very good about communicating. If you ever have any questions, please call. Jennifer is our admin assistant, our full-time admin assistant, and Erin is our part-time admin assistant. They're fantastic, they're wonderful, they're always looking for conversations with people. Go ahead.
For students going to the Champions program, what's the arrival and dismissal, where do they get dropped off?
They would get dropped off in front of the gymnasium. Their arrival, I think they start at maybe like 6:30, and then they're here until about 6 or 6:30 at night. Yep, to the front of the gym. What happens with them is when the bell rings for the start of the day, those students walk to their classes from Champions or breakfast, and then at the end of the day, the teachers drop those kids off in the cafeteria, and then you pick them up whenever you pick them up. Go ahead.
If there is going to be a change in dismissal, like an emergency or something, or like you do ahead of time, should you do a handwritten note, a phone call?
Handwritten, it's a great phone calls to the office too.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we appreciate the handwritten notes, Carla.
I was gonna say, yeah, if you do know enough ahead of time, we always love a handwritten note tucked right in their folder that'll come to and from school every day. We understand, emergencies happen or changes, sudden changes, so we can definitely call the office. A handwritten note is better though because we'll see it first and then it goes to the office rather than you calling the office and something else happening in the office and the office may forget to call, hey, Miss Paling, so-and-so's gonna be picked up, not sent on the bus. Just if you can do a handwritten note, it's always better, but
Sort of the flip side of that too is don't just email the teachers. Because if Ms. Paling or Mrs. Lord or any of our teachers is out that day, they don't get the email, and so we don't have noticed that there's going to be a change. So you can send an email, send a handwritten note. Handwritten notes are always better because the teacher sees them, even if it's a substitute teacher in the classroom, and then it goes to the office. They write a dismissal note, a change in dismissal note, and then we know where that child's going.
So if each child, like my child will be going to daycare, but say I'm homesick with a sibling or something, does he get to stop with a daycare bus and then like a home bus if there's an emergency? Like how do they get assigned a bus?
See that again?
Like how do they get assigned a bus? Like just where my house is, like where his home is?
Yes, but you can coordinate that with the bus company.
Okay.
So if you know that, like, he's taking bus whatever on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and he's going to Shepherd's Path on Tuesday and Thursday, they'll coordinate that. And you can make sure you communicate that with our teachers as well. But yeah, there's some flexibility. Again, it's really challenging because it inevitably happens if we have a holiday on a Monday. Everybody thinks it's Monday when it's Tuesday, and so they're like, oh, he's bus 7 on Tuesday, but today's Monday, or the other way around, sorry. So.
the bus company is usually here on our orientation day too, and we always say to families that we get your bus number based on your home address. So if there are buses that go to certain daycare drop-offs, so we just ask to check that number, and if that's not correct for where they'll be dismissed, to see the bus company, they'll fix the tag for you and make sure that it reflects where they will be going.
But
That way for that first day of school, we have that
our
information.
home address would
say what?
During the day or at
During the day.
That's also during the day?
Yeah, and we'll have 2 sessions of that. It's 45 minutes, I think we've done the last couple of years. It's just kind of quick in and out. Come in, sit down, meet the teacher, have the teacher talk, figure out the bus dismissal or the dismissal process, and it'll be in the morning. It'll be either like 9:30 to 10:30 or 11 to 12. There is a cost for the Champions program. Yeah. It should be on our website. Yeah. Go ahead.
So if the person that's putting the child on the bus, does it have to be the same one? Taking them off?
Getting them off the bus?
Yeah, it's the same person that put them on the bus.
No. The bus drivers will get to know your kids and your support system. That's a great question, but it doesn't have to be the same person now.
But that should be communicated to the bus driver. If it's not going to be the same person, then you should be letting the bus driver know, because they might be hesitant to walk off the bus to someone they haven't seen before.
As a parent, just have it on the news, like they'll ask you who's approved to take your kid off the bus, and everyone knows.
So the last meter,
Yes, there always have to be an adult getting a child off the bus, which is challenging because some of our bus stops have like 15 kids getting off the bus. So there's a big crowd of people there, and once they get into like 4th or 5th grade, you don't necessarily need to be there to get them off the bus. No, exactly. Yep. And if there's nobody there to get them off the bus, they'll call the terminal and they'll say, all right, well, can you swing by in a couple minutes? The terminal calls the school. We call you and say, Johnny was supposed to be getting off the bus and nobody was there. They're bringing him back to the school. You might have to come to the school and pick him up.
For parent pickup drop off, kids in school in 5 harness, are we getting them out of car seats? Like, are you expecting them to be boosters? If they're, I don't know, really tiny peanut, or little bobbling down the house, am I staying in the car getting out?
All the adults that are in the back, we just ask if you can have them on the passenger side.
Okay.
Because you'll be pulling in this way, and so we don't want the kids getting out from the driver's side because the cars are turning around and coming back. So they're gonna get out on the passenger side, at the sidewalk. So you will lock the doors, we'll open it and get them.
You'll open the door and.
Yes.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
just stay in your driver's seat and
So there's a line of cars out here, and a lot of times the kids will unbuckle from the back seat and get into the front seat. And those of us that do drop off duty in the mornings get very, very confused by each person who try to get the routines down. Like, if this kid gets over on this side, this kid gets out on this side, this kid comes in the front seat. So a lot of times you're sitting here waiting, they unbuckle and sit in the front seat or whatever. I thought you were asking about parent pickup at the end of the day.
No, more at
Yeah.
for preschool round, we get them out of the car.
Yep.
So make sure that's still.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Will there be a time for them to, like, on orientation day, to, like, ride the bus, kind of like a trial run? I know they did it for years, but
We haven't done that the last few years, mostly because of COVID. I wasn't planning on doing it this year. Like I said, we have the bus at Camp MECC for the K-Social, which doesn't go for a ride, but it does get them to sit on the bus and see the bus.
I'll ask about pickup. How's pickup work? You said Jackson Street, which is down there, right? So we pulling behind the building to park, and we come through like the wall back here, like.
Yeah. So both our parent drop-off in the morning and parent drop-off in the morning is what we call like a rolling drop-off. So you stay in your car is running, we come over, open the door, get your child out, get them into the building, shut the door, and you head out. Parent pickup in the afternoon is over on the other side, over by Pierce Playground. It's on the other side of our preschool building. And what we do from there is we have students that are in lower level classrooms go into the gym. Nope, they're in one part of the gym, and students that are in our second level classrooms go to a different part of the gym. So we have 2 lines of people. So you park your car, there'll be a line of parents over here. We'll get it all figured out for you. You come up, you show your ID, we check your ID, we cross-reference it with our registration form, and then we say, here's your child. And after a few weeks, Mrs. Grugen's back there every day, Mrs. Santos is back there, they recognize, before they even open the door, they're like, I need Johnny, Sally, and Timmy, because their parents are at the front of the line. Yeah.
You had mentioned that some children get breakfast and lunch here. Is there a website that they can pay
Thank you for asking that. The last few years, lunch and breakfast have been free. And the plan is that that's going to continue. So, kids get off the bus, kids walk in the building, and we say, have you had breakfast yet? No, yes, no. You want to go get breakfast? Sure, what is it today? And so we'll get them to breakfast, they eat breakfast. It hasn't happened, but if that becomes a problem because you're feeding your child at home and you don't want them getting the breakfast at school, just call us and let us know, and we'll make sure that Sally goes right to class and not to the cafeteria. So that is the plan at this point, is that breakfast and lunch will be free.
Additional snacks and stuff included, or just?
We don't do additional snacks.
So it's just the older pizza?
Yep. Yep.
So if I pack my son lunch,
Yep.
and he decides he likes so-and-so's lunch better that you were providing,
Mm-hmm.
he might come home with his lunch.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, if that becomes a problem, then no, just yeah, go ahead, eat it. So what they do is when they come in the morning, they.
I was gonna say, just make sure that your child knows to tell their teacher that first thing in the morning. They can't get to the cafeteria with their lunch from home and say, oh, that looks good, I'm gonna go up and get a lunch. We have to tell the cafeteria how many lunches they're making every single day.
You know, in the morning.
We know in the morning, so every morning, like this morning I sat down, it was a popular one today, French toast sticks, I think, and it was, I sat down, okay, I need 14 French toast sticks, 14 lunches from school this morning, and they made the exact number, maybe they tell you a few more, but, so just make sure that your child knows that they need to let their teacher know first thing in the morning, lunch from home or lunch from school.
And you'll get a menu from that.
Yeah, get the lunch menu. And it's posted on the website too. So that's really important. Talk to them beforehand, because if they think it's pizza day and they get in here and they say they didn't have a packed lunch or whatever, then it causes a whole scene.
So what would be an appropriate snack for snack?
An appropriate snack,
An appropriate snack.
something healthy. That could be anything from a bag of goldfish or crackers, juice, water, yogurt.
Something that they can open and clean up independently, something that doesn't require like to be heated up or
Refrigerated.
refrigerated. Yeah, I mean you can send them with like a nice pack or something in their lunchbox, but we definitely encourage. We also encourage, yeah, like we said, we also encourage parents to send like 1 or 2 snacks. If your child is a kiddo that likes an option, please don't send them with 14 snacks, because it's a short snack time and it's just easier.
They like to open that.
Yeah, yeah. This is not buffet.
That's what I was thinking. I don't know, Charlie, I know one of the things you're gonna remind them to do over the summer is learn how to open their lunch boxes and unzipper them. I know that you guys help, but it might help them to know like the fancy little Petco boxes and things like that, like make sure they know how to open them.
And snacks too, as much as possible, like opening a bag of goldfish or fruit snacks or whatever. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure on that. The question was, they live close to the building, and does that mean that they're not eligible? I don't know. Kindergarten's a little bit different, so I can find out. You can call 5 Star, which is the bus company, and ask them. Yep, good question. A lot of good questions.
Are they allowed to bring water bottles?
Yes.
We actually encourage it. We are very fortunate to have water refill stations in the building. It's where our water fountains, bubblers used to be. It's now filtered water, so the kids get thirsty, especially on like gym days. So we let them keep water bottles like at their desk, especially in the warmer months. They come in from recess, they're all thirsty. So like I said, we are fortunate to have those refill stations, and they just ask, can I go refill my bottle? And we'll take them in the hall, or some of the classrooms are really close to those refill stations. So yeah, if you buy them a reusable bottle, that labeled with their name.
Did you have a follow-up question?
I thought it was like back in the day, water fountain, bubbler, instead of doing one.
No, these are water filling stations. They're mouthless. Yep.
So I live in walking distance. Now, do I go to the front or to the back?
That's the back. That's the. back. Yeah, but we do have parents that walk their kids to school. They walk right by the playground, walk them right up here. Our staff that's out there see them and say, oh, come on, let's go. And then we will bring them into the building. Go ahead.
Last one, promise.
No, it's all right.
School supply lists. When
So-
are they, school supply lists, do we need them? Are they posted? When are they posted? Please don't send me a letter on August 29th when I have to be here on August 31st.
We will send,
People in Walmart, figure it out.
we will send, my plan is to send sort of a sample kindergarten supply list with the class placement, which is be like mid-August. So you have plenty of time to get to Walmart or Target. And then some of our teachers will send specific supply lists, like they're requesting wipes or paper towels or, I don't know, tissues.
Typically, too, we've always had a recommended supply list, and we cherish and appreciate every single donation. But if your kiddo doesn't bring a supply list, or the teacher doesn't send one home in time, or doesn't send one home at all, they'll have everything they need here. We make sure they've got crayons and paper and glue and scissors and everything else. So don't stress too much about it.
All right, any other questions, you can certainly call the school and talk to me, talk to anybody here. Really appreciate you guys coming tonight. It's nice to see all these smiling faces. Bring tissues for the first couple days of school as well for yourself. But thanks for coming and have a great night.